All right, spawning down in the bottom left position of Jagannatha, it is the blue Zerg player from Ents Esports, the foreigner goat. Give it up for SERRAL. And his opponent spawning up in the top right position of the map, representing Berliner International Gaming. It is SHOWTIME. D. Mauer. You know, they call him the Wall, but he has always lived up to that name. He has always been such a tough nut to crack. And I gotta say, I think we'll continue to see why over and over again. He is just such a quality player and so difficult to deal with. SERRAL wisely moving this drone forward, doesn't want to get hatch blocked. And so what this allows you to do by sending this drone forward, you check, you see if there's a probe. If there's a probe, you continue on your merry way towards the third base. If there's no probe, you just go back, you take that base. SHOWTIME will scout, sees it's no 12 pool. This isn't Vanya. This isn't anyone crazy. This is the GOAT SERRAL. And, well, upon scouting this, SHOWTIME will go for the Nexus here, knowing he can do so safely. A little bit of annoying mineral harass right here from SHOWTIME SERRAL. Making what I now consider to be the correct move, which is when your opponent gets really, really obnoxious with that, you just pull a drone. Now, SHOWTIME kind of responding in a cool way himself, going to the farthest possible mineral patch behind at first there. Kind of a cool little cat and mouse game. SHOWTIME going to be a little bit of a nuisance here in the back once again. The farthest possible place he can be away from a drone to jump on him. But that means SERRAL, he can actually just more easily deal with this by just spam clicking the minerals and ensuring he doesn't lose any additional mining time. So a surprisingly high-level little interaction right there. I've actually never seen a Protoss player respond by going to the farthest possible position away and actually taking advantage of SERRAL's spawning pool positioning to make that just a little bit more effective. So good thinking on his feet right there. And did SERRAL instantly see the Stargate? He sure did. And, well, that is really nice for the finisher. First Adept is going to pop out here. Now, SERRAL does have two Overlords across the map, and if it is Void Ray first for SHOWTIME, that would potentially be pretty painful. Losing two Overlords so early on would be really, really costly, but SERRAL does have it kind of hidden on this pillar. So unless SHOWTIME saw it there beforehand, would not be able to hunt with it, but the point is moot anyways, as we have an Oracle first coming out. SERRAL will likely get a couple of Spore Crawlers up pretty soon here to make sure he doesn't suffer any damage at the hands of this Oracle. Adept trying to shoo away one of these Zerglings right here. Unfortunately, chasing it into the brush, which means as the line of sight gets broken, he actually loses aggro on it. And as a result, is Link Speed going to finish in time? No, it will not. But where is this Oracle? It is coming across the map right now. And it's actually going to be two Oracles, so no Void Ray coming down just yet. Now, looming ever-present at this point is the German taxi build, that Queen transport build. Oh, and as we see the Overlord speed upgrade coming down for SERRAL, that is definitely something that SHOWTIME's going to have to be very, very careful about and doesn't want to get caught off guard by. Now, notably, SHOWTIME not even building a Void Ray here, only going for this double Oracle. And double Oracle, of course, a great way to play. You can get into a mineral line if there's no queens in position, which at the moment, there we go, one will come back, but that's not really enough to prevent massive damage. If there's not a lot, you can get into a mineral line and just click down drones extremely fast. And just like that, two drones go down. But SERRAL, with the well-positioned singular queen, does still get a good amount of hull damage on one of those oracles. So not as bad as it could have been for SERRAL. And as we continue on, there's only two gases taken here for the finished Zerg. this is looking more and more like it may very well be that queen drop build. Overlord speed will come in here. It is going to scout this Forge and Twilight Council. Couple of extra gateways coming down, and that has always been one of SERRAL's greatest strengths, is scouting. He's just so good at always keeping tabs on what his opponent's doing, and it is so hard to keep him in the dark and maybe try and throw a curveball at him. He just won't let you. Now, as this happens, he sees that his opponent did not go crazy into the Void Rays, and he's just continuing to drone up here in response to scouting that, and will grab all 6 gases for his setup here. That's going to allow him to tech very aggressively. Now, we do see this double Oracle getting into the natural now, picking off 3 drones, but kind of, getting themselves caught, and as a result, they will be forced to recall out. Hallucinated Phoenix is going to come in here. Going to get a bit of information on this base. Seeing all of those gases is valuable. Let's Showtime know that SERRAL is, tending towards a macro game. No 4th hatchery on the way just yet for SERRAL. That does imply to me that this still could be a lot of aggression. And Dropper Lord coming down, 6 more Overlords coming down as well. And we have that Roach speed. We've got that +1 missile coming down. An Infestation Pit as well. Is this going to be for Swarm Hosts? Oh, man. Swarm Hosts are very, very strong on this map. Of course, you can pop them up from this location, get into the main base, pop them up from here, get into the main base, pop them up from this location, get into the potential 4th base, pop them up from here, get into the 3rd base, pop them up from here, get into the 3rd base. There is just so much... so many areas where Swarm Hosts really excel on this map, and it is going to be 9 of those Swarm Hosts coming down. Make it 10. Showtime, I think, just now has spotted this kind of sneakily placed Infestation Pit. Well done from SERRAL to kind of keep that hidden, and his creep spread is getting so far forward. It is going to be really, really difficult to deal with this for Showtime. He's going into Charge Lot Archon. But Charge Lot Archon Immortal, I should say, not all that great against Swarm Hosts. You need some kind of splash damage or stasis wards to completely nullify the Swarm Hosts, and right now there just isn't that. And that means these Locusts, oh man, they're going to be extremely difficult to deal with for Showtime. Meanwhile, this Overlord drop does get kind of shooed away, and SERRAL going to queue it up into the natural. There is a shield battery there, kind of, but now the Swarm Hosts will launch their Locust into the main base. I think they're just going to go straight for the Nexus, and I love this move. Look at this triple-pronged threat from SERRAL. We do have the Locust coming down here. Going to take out a cannon, take out a few probes, not target firing the Nexus, though. Meanwhile, at the main fight, Force Fields look like they tried to break up the Zerg army, but not going to be able to really do so. Kind of trapping some Queens, but not so much. Meanwhile, 12 probes going down. It looks like a few did go down in the natural expansion to that Ling drop. Very well done from SERRAL, but Showtime has not yet suffered huge damage. Nice Warp Prism Micro on these Immortals, keeping those alive, keeping them from getting kind of overwhelmed. More Locusts, though, are going to be popped up. They are going to head towards the natural expansion this time, it looks like. And, well, where is the Warp Prism? It's not being microed, and that's because Showtime is very concerned about these Locusts. Locusts are going to go to work on this Nexus, and they'll tear it down so quickly, killing it just before they do expire. Unfortunately, no battery overcharge used at that point. Was it on cooldown? Yes, it was, so Showtime did not have the choice. And SERRAL, he is about to launch another Locust wave, which could very well spell the end of the game if this Stasis Ward does not disable them. Ooh, Oracle's coming forward. The Queens have mostly been dealt with, so they can get a lot of damage here. One more does show up, but actually 2 more do show up. Oh, man. If SERRAL can recognize there's a Stasis Ward there. Oh, he's actually not going to land on it at all. A little bit unfortunate for Showtime. And all of these warped-in Zealots will be taken out, as well as a ton of probes. And now Immortals are getting caught as well. 2 of them go down despite the battery overcharge. And that means that is back on cooldown once again. More drops into the natural. SERRAL with the Overlord drops. He is such a fast, tenacious player. Look at him go, almost 500 APM. More roaches coming down here. SHOWTIME has not lost a horrendous amount more than his opponent. In fact, he is trading ever so slightly more cost efficiently. But you have to realize that he has lost his natural. He has lost a ton of probes. He has been getting outmined in this game in a big way. And SERRAL continuing to move forward. He is going to drop these locusts once again. And SHOWTIME knows the writing is on the wall. GG will get called. And the finisher lives up to his name. And we are back with game number 2 of SHOWTIME versus SERRAL. It is going to be on Oxide. SHOWTIME, he looked a little bit outclassed in that game number 1. SERRAL was all over him there. That Roach Swarm Host play was just so difficult to deal with. And we'll have to see if SHOWTIME can deal with it in this game number 2. As we have spawning up in the top right, representing Big, it is the Red Protoss player, SHOWTIME. And his opponent spawning down in the bottom left, representing ENCE Esports, it is the finisher, SERRAL. Looking to advance onto the winner's match with a 2-0 here. Now, SHOWTIME is not the type to cannon rush after a loss. He's not the type to cannon rush at all. So there's no way we're going to see that. We'll just see another standard gateway opening from him. A nice little attention to detail. He rallies the probe forward and then shift clicks the gateway so he gets bumped forward on his way. One of the many nice little things that players like SHOWTIME and SERRAL do. Just very, very small things. But that attention to detail can really set you apart from other players. Not specifically the, half second or even quarter or 0.2 of a second that you save by having that gateway, push the probe a little bit further forward. But the fact that they are doing those kinds of things and thinking about ways to cut corners and be as efficient as possible, that's the kind of thing that makes these guys world-class players. And, well, once again, we see SHOWTIME being a little bit of a nuisance with this. Now, if we look at the map layout here, we do see there are a good number of spots where Swarm Host can be a bit of a problem to deal with. If SHOWTIME takes this as his third base, the more traditional spot, Swarm Hosts can launch their Locusts up here and once again threaten either the main base or the natural expansion with those Locusts. Same thing. Swarm Hosts over on this left side can launch their Locusts up into this third base and be a big problem. If this base does get taken, this pocket third, Swarm Hosts can launch the Locusts from here. They can launch them from over the rocks even. They can launch them from here and go after that third. There is just a lot of places where Swarm Hosts are very, very powerful. And we will see a Stargate get dropped down here by SHOWTIME. SERRAL once again scouting that immediately. He's got a bit of a soul read right now on SHOWTIME with that placement. And, ooh, SHOWTIME. Nice job from him. Going to be preventing this hatchery from going down right when SERRAL wanted it by hiding that probe. Very, very well done. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Attention to detail. And, of course, he will notice that SERRAL did not have all 4 lings there. And that's going to be enough to make this Adept stay at home. Now, this would be the kind of thing where I wouldn't hate SERRAL to just do something like that. Hide one of the lings from his opponent's probe. And then, gear up for a big all-in or something. Like a big Speedling all-in or a Speedling drone pull all-in. Now, I don't think he would ever do that. But that's the kind of thing that playing like this gives you the opportunity to do. And it's kind of cool. Makes me a fan. Makes me excited about this kind of thing. There's still ways to exploit your opponent's lack of information or the information you feed them. Now, this game, it is going to be Void Ray first. So we will see at least a little bit of variance coming out of SHOWTIME here. Very quick third Nexus coming down here. Now, will we see, in fact, a second Stargate after this Oracle? I have seen a few players go for this. This incredibly quick third Nexus. Great scout from SERRAL, by the way. So quick to dart in there. And it is going to be that fast second Stargate. So this is almost definitely going to be 2 Stargate Void Ray. Yeah, with those additional gases going down. This very greedy build from Showtime. Now, is SERRAL going to hit him with the German taxi? Oh, man, I am feeling very, very strongly that he probably will. We have this pneumatized carapace coming down at a very early timing. SERRAL getting ready, hiding this Overlord right in the top left. By the way, no Overlords have gone down yet in this game. Showtime looking for a drone, but SERRAL just way too quick on that pull. Not going to be losing that at all. Man, SERRAL's so good at keeping all of his stuff alive right now. SERRAL is going to sneak this Overlord in on the right side. And if he can see these Void Rays, I think we'll see him cut workers potentially and go for this big queen drop all in. But he needs to see this now, and he will see it very, very soon. He needs to see it in order to make that decision. Oh, he starts up another round of drones, so probably won't go for that queen drop build, but we may see more queens come down. Just in order to try and defend against these Void Rays, if anything. There we go. 2 more queens now starting up. 4 Void Rays. That's a lot to deal with. And SERRAL doesn't actually have a ton just yet. He's got 6 queens, but only 2 of them are at this third base. There we go. We'll rally them together a little bit. Showtime, though. Ooh, he is going to find this drone, which that means SERRAL, though, knows where these Void Rays are. Not going to be able to take out this Spore. It is well positioned. Look at that. He unburrows it, sees that the Void Rays turn around, and then reburrows it immediately. And SERRAL will now go up into those Hydras. Having his 4th base delayed does hurt a little bit. So good job from Showtime right there. Now, Showtime is transitioning here into the mid game. Whenever you go for that double Stargate Void Ray and you don't get all in, or even if you do just go double Stargate Void Ray, we're almost always seeing this Forge and Twilight Council set up straight up into a huge Gateway explosion and a very quick Templar Archives and Storm. It is just so powerful right now. Ooh, another Overlord drop gearing up from SERRAL. He is really amping up the aggression today. Look at that, 8 gates in total being added on here. That's going to bring Showtime, I believe, up to 10 gates total. Now, there we go. Storm starts up. SERRAL getting ready to drop into the main base. There is nothing in position right here. Cannon starts up. But that is not going to be ready just yet. And here we go. Void Rays going to try and come on into the main base. 6 Void Rays are available. 2 Spores in the main. Great setup from SERRAL to deal with this. And even saves that 1 Hydralisk. Very well done from the Finnish Zerg player. And now this Ling drop comes into the main base. Going to pick off a probe. Cancel that cannon. And, well, nice job from SERRAL or Showtime to get the cancel. But we will see at least a Warping In Zealot go down. Oh, another cannon gets canceled. Void Rays, though, do show up back home and will clean this up. But look at that. SERRAL responsibly getting that Dropper Lord back out. And now he is going for +2 missile. He's going for Baneling speed. He's going for Hydra speed. He is going to be looking to amp up the aggression with some good old-fashioned Hydraling Bane. I love this style so much. I was going to say, I would like to see a second Evo for +1 melee, but he's already on top of it. He is SERRAL. Of course he's going for that. And, well, the 4th Nexus will come down here from Showtime, but it is quite late. And it's going to be kind of tough to hold on to this. He needs to get static defenses up there pronto. He's got a ton of Storm available. Oh my god. That's so much potential Storm. He could have 2 Storms on every single one of these High Templar by the time the fight comes in. And that would be, how many? That would be 14 Storms if that were the case. That is too many Storms. Showtime setting up a little Zealot run by on the right side. You'll love to see it. Bane speed, muscular augments finishing up here. Ooh, Dropper Lord is going to pick up a couple of Banelings. 4 Banelings in that Dropper Lord. They don't have +2 melee, of course, but they can still be a big pain to deal with. Now, this many storms, God, it is so difficult to deal with that. But there isn't much static defense. Just now, these 2 shield batteries finishing up. Huge concave getting set up from SERRAL. The storms are gonna have to be great for Showtime. Meanwhile, oh, where's that Dropper Lord? It is going in on the top right. We're going to be paying attention to that as well. Showtime setting up a big Zealot run by on the left side, but there's a lot of Queens. Huge storms coming in to start things off, but SERRAL will mostly disengage. +2 melee. Going to finish up in the middle of this fight. Banelings trying to connect on the High Templar. They will... Oh, not quite get those 2 on the left side. However, there's not much here left for Showtime. Looks like a couple of probes are going down during all of this. Meanwhile, the Baneling drop in the main base didn't kill much, but the whole army goes down, and Showtime loses so much. Meanwhile, though, I think every single queen just went down. Oh my god, 9 queens. Yeah, every single queen just went down to this Zealot run by, which means, well, actually, that doesn't mean anything, as Showtime just doesn't have enough. He needed to get more done. He lost everything back at home, and